Hey everyone, Shabby here and welcome to a very special episode here of the SWE Universe Mode. We are here with a special show from PJ Tovey. It is going to be called Hardcore Revival. Now, as you can probably tell, we are going to have a hardcore themed show. There's going to be 4 to 5 matches altogether. And this might end up being... this is Briscoe Bros on the car in the background. I just noticed that. It might end up being quite a long episode because there's going to be 5 matches. All are going to be Fatal 4-Way matches. We're going to start things off with 4 Fatal 4-Way matches. The winners of each of those 4 will go into the final Fatal 4-Way later on in our main event. And of course, there's a reason behind this show. Now, if you were wondering, a few of the people that PJ Tovey brought into his roster during the Shabby shake-up, there was a sort of theme to them, and there was a sort of hardcore theme. And therefore, PJ Tovey is going to be adding a hardcore division and, of course, a brand new hardcore championship. And tonight, we will crown the inaugural champion. So starting things off in this first Fatal 4-Way, as you can see, we do have Mark Briscoe. And it is quite an eclectic mix of names in this, I must admit. But all of them suit this championship pretty nicely as entrant number 2 in this first Fatal 4-Way makes his way to the ring. It is, of course, going to be Jake the Snake Roberts, freshly taken from Throwdown over to Mayhem. Didn't have a lot of opportunities over on Throwdown, and now he has a chance to earn himself a championship. Of course, it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all. 16 guys all fighting it out, all determined to win this belt and become the first ever hardcore champion in the SWE Universe Mode. And there are some very, very strong names in this. As we await entrant number 3 into this opening matchup. I think we will do this as one show. If things get a little bit too long, I might have to squeeze this across 2 separate shows, but I think we should be okay. As here comes number 3 of this first Fatal 4-Way. It is going to be Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes making his way for the ring. I've turned a bit into Chris Eubank now, I said. Chris Eubank. Yeah, so Dusty, somebody who PJ Tovey gave an opportunity at the Television Championship to on night number 1. But since then, we've sort of struggled to find a place for Dusty. And I think this hardcore division could be a fantastic place for him. He has been involved in quite a bit of hardcore action over the years. In various different promotions, and he's here now to prove his, basically his balls, I suppose. He's going to prove his balls and what he can do. It's going to be a tricky first match, this one, though. I don't even know who I would put down as the favourite, to be honest with you. Of course, you're still awaiting entrant number 4 into this one. Who is going to be an ECW original in Bubba Ray Dudley. So this is our first 4 to enter the Hardcore Revival. And I will say that the Hardcore Championship is not going to be limited to the 16 guys we're going to see here this evening. It can be anybody again on the Mayhem roster, or if PJ Tovey wants to bring anybody new in as well, we can bring someone new in. I would like to say as well that we are going to be issuing the 24/7 rule on the Hardcore Championship. So people will have to defend the belt as and when they are challenged. So you'll be seeing a lot of backstage brawls or a lot of multi-man matches. And I'm assuming the Hardcore belt is going to be a belt that's going to end up changing hands quite often, as it did in real life. As Bubba looking very excited again. A new member into this roster joined as part of the Shabby shake-up. Now, what can he do here this evening? Who will be the first name into that final Fatal 4-Way for the belt? Mark Briscoe, Jake Roberts, Dusty Rhodes, and Bubba Ray Dudley. The bell goes. We are underway. Of course, Extreme Rules are in operation. No countouts, no disqualifications. Pinfalls and submissions must take place within the confines of the ring. However, there is no rope breaks or anything like that, so we're looking pretty good. Dusty dropping a leg drop right into the inside the leg of Bubba Ray Dudley. I was quite excited when PJ Taylor came up with this idea because it was something that I really wanted to do as well, and just trying to find the best way of doing it. My God, Bubba showing some strength there, lifting Dusty Rhodes right above his head. And yeah, the thing with Fatal 4-Way matches is that they're generally very good matches on this game, but we have no idea of time. That could be the problem. If they'll go about 10 minutes, it'll be fine. But sometimes we've seen these matches go on like half an hour. So we'll see what we can do. As Mark Briscoe drops to the outside, Mark Briscoe is going to be the first man of the Hardcore Revival to bring himself out a weapon. He has a table, and he doesn't get a chance to use that table before Jake Roberts and Bubba Ray teaming up to take Mark Briscoe down, looking for a double Samoan drop, and hits it. Running DDT on the outside by Bubba on Dusty Rhodes, as now Jake Roberts with the backbreaker on Mark Briscoe as well. And at the moment it's Bubba Ray and Jake Roberts who look in control of this match. Dusty now sending Bubba into the barricade. Jake here being clever. Like I said, pinfalls and submissions only count inside the ring, and with Dusty and Bubba fighting on the outside, Jake has an opportunity here to try and isolate Mark Briscoe, and you know what? Potentially go for the victory. Why not? Clothesline there by Jake Roberts, now dragging Mark Briscoe away from the ropes. Rubbing his boot across the face and again as well. Now Jake Roberts is lining Mark Briscoe up, and say Dusty and Bubba on the outside. Jake looking for that DDT and he hits it. Mark Briscoe's down. Is Jake going to be the first man through? Be a very quick match if it is. Jake doesn't go for the pin. Why have you not gone for the pin there, Jake? You just hit your finisher maneuver. The arms were spread out, which means they're in a very bad position, but Jake could live to regret that. Backdrop slam by Mark Briscoe. Following up with some big high impact strikes and that big jumping clothesline as well. Jake Roberts slides to the outside. I don't know what condition Mark Briscoe is going to be in after taking one of Jake's DDTs. But Jake seems to be in trouble himself here on the outside. Oh, good bit of teamwork there. Oh, nice. Nice bit of work there by Mark Briscoe and Dusty Rhodes. And now Bubba's on the outside. In comes Jake Roberts back. Dusty taking Mark Briscoe down. Roberts now sending Mark Briscoe into the corner. Briscoe catching the boot, and Roberts with a clothesline. Bubba just launching Dusty Rhodes back to the outside. Now Jake again is in the ring and has Mark Briscoe isolated. Now wrenching back of that neck of Mark Briscoe. I don't think it's quite going to be enough to get the submission victory, but it gives Jake a chance to regain a little bit of energy while also obviously seeping the energy away from Mark Briscoe. Bubba was in there quickly enough to break that submission just in case it was a victory. I don't think it would have been a victory, but you never know in these situations. You've got to be careful, haven't you? And now Bubba looking in the submission on Dusty Rhodes, but right in front of Jake Roberts. On Jake. There's the DDT on Bubba. Mark Briscoe and Dusty on the outside. They're out. Jake with a pin. 1, 2, and 3. And there we go. Jake Roberts is the first man advancing into our Fatal 4-Way later on this evening for the Hardcore Championship. Wow. Jake did well there. He was the only man who looked like winning. Of course, he hit his DDT earlier on in the match against Mark Briscoe, and then also catching it on Bubba Ray Dudley as well. I'm happy with that, actually. I'm very happy with that. And out comes Damien. Referee being harassed now by by Jake and Damien. Is that a real snake? Doesn't look like a real snake, does it? And here we go with the second of our Fatal 4-Ways. Starting things off, we have got representing the new Sanity stable, of course, that has joined Mayhem. It's going to be Killian Dane. Of course, the former Big Damo, who's now disappeared into the darkness. Always fun. There he is. He's back. So Dane, I think, is a very he's a very cheeky outside bet for this, you know, in my opinion. He's a big man, he's a strong man, and he's a man who I think could really cause some problems to some of the other men that are in this Hardcore Championship tournament. Of course, we know that Jake is already in the final for the Hardcore belt. Will Dane be the one to join him? It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult because I know the men that are in this match, and there's one man in particular who I think should get through this one, but stranger things have happened on this game. I say stranger things. Stranger things always happen on this game. It's very often that the things you think are going to happen actually happen. It's always the strange things that happen. That was a mouthful, wasn't it? And here comes entrant number 2 into the match. It's the other half of the Dudley Boys. Bubba Ray was not able to make his way into the final, but will Devon Dudley be able to do so? Of course, another ECW original. Sort of jumped ship from ECW to WWE a bit earlier than some of the others. But you can't blame him, can you, really? That's where the money was. New Japan are trolley bastards, I tell you. New Japan have just put a tweet out saying, join New Japan World for just $9.99, which is their version of the WWE Network, essentially. And it says, we guarantee no houses, no horrors, and the best wrestling in the world. Is he taking the mickey out of that House of Horrors match at Payback last week? Yeah, good old New Japan. The best thing about New Japan, because they do have the top quality wrestling in the world, they don't need to drop back into dodgy gimmick matches. And I don't get me wrong, I love a good gimmick match. I do love a good gimmick match, but sometimes they just go a little bit too far. And that House of Horrors match, I'm not sure how I feel about that House of Horrors match, to be brutally honest with you. It's a bit of a random one, as entrant number 3 into this match is going to be, of course, representing D-Generation X, X-Pac. Yeah, the House of Horrors match was dodgy as hell, I think. I don't know. It was just the pre-recorded aspect and all that sort of stuff. It was very much broken Matt Hardy's compound and this, that, and the other. It was just a bit weird, wasn't it? All that was missing was somebody playing the piano the whole way through the match or something weird like that. I don't know. It was a weird one. I'm glad they're finished with it now. And I'm interested to see how the whole Jinder Mahal situation builds up, as X-Pac's shirt is completely broken now. And can X-Pac, he was always a little bit of an outsider X-Pac. So it makes you wonder, is he going to be the man who can fight his way through this? He's got a great resilience, as he's shown in the past. He's always a little bit of an outsider in this. I'm pretty sure he's a former hardcore champion in real life as well. I might be wrong, but sounds like the sort of thing he would have done. And it's a chance for DX to get a hold of some gold. As we have the 4th and final man in match number 2 of this Hardcore Revival, it is going to be, of course, one of Mick Foley's alter egos. It is going to be Cactus Jack, the original Hardcore legend. I actually have on DVD. It's just called that Japanese. It's just called the Legendary Japanese Tournament. That's all it's called. And of course, it was the. I think it was late 80s. It was the hardcore match, the hardcore tournament over in Japan that really, really brought hardcore wrestling to more of a forefront, I think. And of course, guys like Cactus Jack and Terry Funk were involved in that. I've got some really weird DVD. I got a DVD I brought off eBay, and it turned up on a blank disc. It's not even in a case or anything, and it's just called The Best of Cactus Jack in Japan. And some of the matches are weird and as weird as hell. And I don't think, like I say, I'm not sure it's a real. I don't think it's a real DVD. I think it's one that somebody's made, but it's a bloody good DVD. In fairness, There's some weird stuff on there. Weird Japanese. You know what the Japanese are like for their wrestling. They've got some weird matches, weird concepts. As the match is now underway, Cactus Jack, Killian Dane, X-Pac, and Devon Dudley. One of these 4 men will join Jake the Snake Roberts in our Fatal 4-Way main event finale here this evening for, of course, the vacant, brand new Hardcore Championship. Power slam there by Killian Dane. Now the big punches to the face of Mr. Cactus Jack. Has X-Pac utilising some of his speed on the outside against Devon Dudley? That could be his... That's probably going to be his biggest advantage. I think Cactus Jack is probably the better... He's probably the better and more experienced hardcore wrestler. Killian Dane probably has the strength advantage. Devon, again, probably well versed in hardcore wrestling. A lot of experience as well. But as a singles competitor, not vastly experienced, of course. More of a tag team wrestler. But he can do it on his own. We've seen that in the past. And of course, X-Pac then is going to have the speed advantage over everyone. So you need to use your advantages correctly, I think. And that's going to be your way of winning this match. And there we go with Killian Dane using his advantage, his strength pretty well by just launching Cactus Jack across the ring. Cactus now in control of Dane. But again, Dane using his strength, launching Cactus Jack over his shoulders. So, of course, Killian Dane, brand new into this roster, as is Devon Dudley. Both guys were added during the Shabby Shake-Up. Dane, of course, is part of the Sanity stable, joining with Eric Young and Alexander Wolf. Whereas, of course, Devon Dudley, as we discussed in the last match, joined the roster as part of the Dudley Boys. An extra tag team on this roster. My God, do we have a lot of tag teams on this roster. Of course, if you've not seen it yet, I have started updating. I know it's taken me a little bit of time, and should have done it a bit quicker, but I've started updating the blogger pages to show you. I've stopped putting the results up there because it was a hell of a lot of extra work. I don't think it was ever being really utilised that well. So what I've done is I've cut the whole blogger down, and now we're just going to have a current roster and current champions for each of the 4 brands. So if you do ever want to know who is the current champion or who is on the current show, then of course you can click on the link in the description below to the blogger page, which is surrounded by adverts, so I can earn at least 1 penny a month. It's literally what I get is 1 penny a month. It's a bit pointless, really, isn't it? Cactus Jack. It's a lot easier though, because it means that I can keep track of who's actually on the roster, and it's easy enough for me because I can go into the game and I can just see who's on the roster. But for you guys, it's a bit more difficult, and I want to keep everyone in a best position they can be. As Cactus Jack and X-Pac now locking in a chicken wing submission on Killian Dane, but Devon was there to break it up. Devon fighting X-Pac back. X-Pac with the elbow on the head of Devon. As Cactus still on the outside. Devon with the back elbows in the face of X-Pac. Now Cactus sending Devon into the corner. X-Pac looking to slide out as Killian Dane just flattening Devon in the corner. And we've seen this before by Cactus Jack. The running knee strike in the corner. It's vicious, that knee strike. It really is. Oh, Cactus Jack out of nowhere catching Killian Dane, taking him up into the pile driver. If Cactus can get a pin here, he could win this match. There is the pin. X-Pac's up. Is he going to get back in time to... Oh my God, Dane kicked out. Dane kicked out on the brink of 3, but Cactus almost had this match won with that pile driver. X-Pac now, big right hand on Devon Dudley, sending him to the outside. Killian Dane, snap suplex on Cactus Jack. And now Dane lining up Cactus. With X-Pac and Devon still on the outside, if Dane can hit a big move here, he might just be able to finish off Cactus before the other 2 guys can get in. There's a big gutbuster. Followed up by a back senton. There's the pin. X-Pac and Devon distracting the outside. I think X-Pac will get back in time. Oh, and again, it's only a 2 count. Wow. These 2 guys in the ring, Dane and Cactus Jack, really showing their resilience here. Both guys taking massive maneuvers from the other and still managing to get back up to their feet. Devon Dudley on the outside looks like he has been busted open by X-Pac at some point. Another pin here by Cactus. I have no idea what happened there with the hook of the leg. It seemed to look a bit dodgy, didn't it? Cactus looking for that big right hand to the side of the head, but Dane fights back with the elbow to the gut of Cactus. And a big running strike. Cactus, my God, he disappeared there. Cactus running bulldog on Dane, who now looks to slide to the outside as, again, X-Pac looking to lock in that chicken wing. But straight away, Cactus was there to break it up. Cactus running bulldog on X-Pac. And now Cactus has been left with Devon in the middle of the ring. 1, 2. Oh, almost a 3 count. Cactus trying to sneak that victory from under the nose of X-Pac, who'd done the damage. Now Cactus glitching out. Now he does back. He gets it. He gets it now. Finger up the nose of Devon. Devon fighting back. Sending Jack into the corner. Devon got planned. Oh, Devon didn't get a chance though. Looked like Devon was going to take Cactus up onto that top rope, potentially for a super backdrop or something like that, but Dane just come flying in from behind. Dane now has Devon up on his shoulders. There's the gutbuster once again, followed up by the back senton. Now X-Pac trying to steal it here from Dane now. If X-Pac goes to the pin here on Devon, he might just be alright. Running dropkick into the corner. Well, Dane fell onto Devon. But X-Pac doesn't go for the pin. Interesting. There goes Dane to the outside. And X-Pac looks to join him. Go on, use an Acai moonsault. Oh, I thought he was going to go for an Acai moonsault, you know. Cactus now. Knee strike to the face of Devon. And this could be a chance here for Cactus. X-Pac and Dane are on the outside. If Cactus can finish off Devon, which he looks like he could do as he grabs a hold of the belt loops. There's the pile driver. Dane and X-Pac still fight on the outside. They're not going to get back in time. 1, 2, and 3. And Cactus gets himself into the main event. X-Pac and Dane distracted on the outside, and Cactus was able to pin Devon Dudley. And there we go. We now have 2 names for our upcoming main event here this evening for the Hardcore Championship. Jake Roberts and Cactus Jack. But who will be joining them? Bang bang. And here we go with the third of our 4 qualifiers for the main event and the championship match here this evening, of course. So far, we have seen both Jake Roberts and Cactus Jack make their way into that finale match. And the third match is going to start off here with another member of Sanity in, of course, Alexander Wolf. Killian Dane did a very good job in the last match, in fairness to you. A very, very good job in the last match. Really showing a lot of youth and exuberance, but showing a lot of strength as well. And I think it was just the experience edge which knocked him out of it, because, of course, he dropped away towards the end on the outside with X-Pac, just staying a little bit too far away from the action, and that allowed, of course, Cactus Jack to pick up the victory over Devon Dudley. And it'd be interesting to see which one of these 4 men in this match. And I'll tell you what, this match I think is stepping up. I think this match might be the most difficult. Then again, the next match is quite difficult as well. I think Wolf is going to struggle in this one, because there's 3 very, very good names yet to come. I wonder if Alexander Wolf will actually make it onto 2K18. I'm sure he will. As in comes entrant number 2 into this third match. It's going to be Ken Shamrock. One of PJ Toby's favourite wrestlers. A man who not necessarily defines hardcore, but if it's an all-out fight, this man will be there, I suppose. That's the best way of looking at it. This man loves a good fight. And if there's a championship involved, why not? Legitimately one of the hardest men to ever enter a WWE ring. And now, an SWE ring. Entrant number 3 is, of course, the homicidal, the genocidal, the suicidal Sabu. I am pointing right now. I got a picture with Sabu at a show a few years ago. There you go, that's my... Is that my claim to fame? I don't honestly know. Does it count as a claim to fame? I don't know. No, it's not, is it really? You went to... Me and PJ said we went to a match where... we went to a show in the UK where Sabu was there. And it just gave us one really funny moment. It really did. When we were sat there... yeah, we were sat there and it was before Sabu was on. And the door... The fire door right next to the entrance to the... well, it's not really an arena, but the entrance to the room just swung open. And Sabu was stood there smoking. I'm not gonna guess at what he was smoking, but I'm assuming it wasn't tobacco. And he crapped himself. He must have come through the wrong door, slammed the door shut, and yeah, it was a bit of just a funny moment. Just the look on his face when the door opened and he realised it was the wrong door, and he hid his cigarette, shut the door, then just disappeared. But yeah, there was a funny moment. It was. And of course, Dean Ambrose is the 4th member of this match. Dean Ambrose, former Combat Zone wrestling star. Somebody who is no stranger to the hardcore division. If you look on YouTube or across the internet, you'll find some very disturbing videos including Dean Ambrose. And they're not the ones that include Renee Young. Somewhere, yeah, Tournament of Death matches. I believe there was an angle grinder involved at some point. Circular saws. It was all. Yeah. Of course, Combat Zone Wrestling is meant to be extreme. However, all these sort of tools they were using, like stuff like the angle grinder and that, were all purposely made safe before the match. There's a few things. They're wrong. They did use a few things that weren't, of course, light tubes and chairs and so forth like that. But where they could, they did make some things a lot safer. That's the way Combat Zone Wrestling used to be. It's not like that anymore. I will point that out. I know Combat Zone Wrestling still gets a lot of bad press, but since DJ Hyde took over about 5 years ago, they've sort of slowly come away from the ultra-violent aspect. They still have the ultra-violent matches here and there. They got rid of the ultra-violent championship. They started to utilise a lot more pure wrestling, which is why you see guys like Adam Cole, who came through the Combat Zone Wrestling Academy, Sami Callihan, OI4K, the Christs, obviously, Dave Christ and his brother, I forgot his name. I wanted to get them on this game, but I can't find them anywhere. AR Fox, Rich Swann, Samurai Del Solo, of course, is Kalisto. Uhaa Nation, who of course is Apollo Crews. A lot of guys appeared for Combat Zone Wrestling, and they still do. You've had guys like Omega's been there recently. The Young Bucks have been there a few times as well. Zack Sabre Jr. is booked for the next Combat Zone Wrestling show, and I think, yeah, it still gets a bad press because of its history and because of its because of what people assume it is. But now, like I said, it has changed. There is still the odd hardcore match here and there, and if you look into the history of some of the stuff that used to happen in Combat Zone Wrestling, you can understand why it has such a bad stigma involved with it. But it has been made a lot better over the past few years, and the things such as drugs in the backstage area and so forth has, I believe, at least calmed down, if not disappeared. Little story, that's the reason why Drake Younger, who of course is now Drake Wirtz, the NXT referee, he was a mainstay in Combat Zone Wrestling, and he openly admitted at the point in time when he was at Combat Zone Wrestling he was addicted to multiple drugs, And he tried to quit, and he just couldn't because there was so much drugs going on in the backstage area that it was just too difficult for him. So he made the conscious decision to leave Combat Zone Wrestling. And when he left Combat Zone Wrestling, he started working a lot more normal indie shows, and it wasn't hardcore based anymore. He was working stuff like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. If you've seen the little chunk of time where both Sami Callihan and Drake Younger were working PWG, and I think they had like a best of 3 series, something like that, and it ended up in a guerrilla warfare match, which obviously is a hardcore match, but you just saw the quality of Drake Younger as an actual wrestler rather than just somebody who could get hit in the head with a chair, basically, and that was quite nice to see. And he did that. He left Combat Zone Wrestling because his wife or girlfriend at the time became pregnant, and I'm sure I read an interview somewhere saying that the day that he found out his wife/girlfriend was pregnant, he's never taken a drug since. And it worked out well for him because he got the WWE contract as well. And he's had a ropey backstory, but it's all worked out fantastically well for him now. And I wonder how long it'll be before we actually see Drake on the main roster as a referee. Because he used to be... I always keep an eye out of him because I've met him a couple of times in the UK as well. I've actually got a DVD signed by Drake Younger, and it's the one where he faced off against Callihan. In the guerrilla warfare match at PWG, and I met the man. He's such a lovely guy, he really is, and like I say, he's turned his life around, and he deserves to get the best. And he started off in NXT doing some of the smaller matches. Alexander Wolf with a Styles Clash on Sabu. There's the pin, 1, 2, but Ken Shamrock was there to break it up. Yeah, he started off NXT doing a few dark matches, a few openers, and he ended up doing a lot of the women's matches as well. But now he seems to be one of the top referees. He seems to be doing a lot of the big matches, a lot of the takeovers, a lot of the pay-per-views, and it's good to see. Sabu with a lion salt. Oh, Sabu almost got him there, very, very close to a 3 count. Dean Ambrose with a powerbomb and Ken Shamrock on the outside. So I went off on a real tangent there, didn't I? But I like sort of stuff like that. I like to let you guys know the stuff that I know, and I will point out that everything I say is generally citation needed. But super famouser there by Sabu on Alexander Wolf. Sabu rolling Wolf over. There's the pin. Ambrose trying to get back in time and doesn't get back in time, and Sabu picks up the victory. My God. You know what? None of this is rigged. I'm gonna make that completely... None of this is rigged. It's all AI versus AI, exactly as it always has been. And look at the main event we're building up here at the moment. Jake Roberts, Cactus Jack, and Sabu. We're still going to add one more man to that match. We're going to have a fantastic hardcore champion here. We are definitely going to have a fantastic hardcore champion here. And Sabu won that match pretty quickly, actually. And I'm just thinking how much Sabu looks like my auntie. I'm not going to go much more into that. Yeah, it was a quick match for Sabu, so maybe the energy he's saved can help him out in the main event. But of course, we still have one more qualifier, and let's get straight into that right now. And here we go with our 4th and final qualifying match. Entering first is going to be from Blackpool, England, William Riga. Because this game, for some reason, does not allow you to fit a certain amount of letters into someone's name. So, good old Riga. I'm going to have to just rename as a Regal, aren't I? Lord Regal. But again, a man who, not synonymous with the hardcore division, but definitely somebody who you could see fighting in the hardcore division. Why do these people do this? Just bugger off, no one cares. You've got a motorbike, well done. There's no reason to sit there and rev outside my front window, is there? Oh god, these people. These people. It's Bank Holiday Monday, I'm trying to relax in my onesie and record some wrestling videos, and some guy's revving his engine. Yeah, you heard that right, yeah. I'm not repeating it. So William Regal is the first man into the 4th qualifier. Of course, remember, one of these 4 men in this 4th qualifier will join Jake Roberts, Cactus Jack, and Sabu in the main event to crown our first ever hardcore champion. Entrant number 2, another man who featured quite heavily in the original ECW. It is the Japanese buzzsaw himself, Tajiri. A man who I believe has recently left WWE over the last week or two. I think injuries got a bit too much and so forth. And it's a shame because I know he really wanted another chance to... show what he could do on the main stage. And he deserved to do it. And of course he did have the Cruiserweight Classic tournament where he pulled off some fantastic matches actually. Some matches that you wouldn't expect from a man of his age. However, it was just a shame that injuries got the better of him, and I still think WWE should keep him maybe. Keep him down in NXT as a trainer maybe. We've got quite a lot of... we haven't really got quite a lot, have we? We've got one or two Japanese names. We've got a lot of Chinese names, but of course it's a different language. I'm gonna sneeze. Right, that's better. Next man is going to, of course, be Bam Bam Bigelow. Again, another man who featured in the original ECW. One of my favourite original ECW moments was when Bam Bam Bigelow threw Spike Dudley out of the ring with so much force that he ended up in the crowd, and the crowd just crowd surfing around for a while. And the fourth and final man in this fourth qualifier is going to be Mr. Rob Van Dam. I know you were thinking it was going to be Fandango there for a second, weren't you? And you know what? You know what? I quite like Breeze Dango. I think if you ignore what they have become, and you look at the two wrestlers there, you look at Johnny Curtis and you look at Tyler Breeze. You look at Tyler Breeze, what he was doing in NXT. He was a main eventer in NXT. Never got a chance at the championship, but he was a main eventer. He was on pay-per-views. For God's sake, the man faced Jushin Thunder Liger at TakeOver. And now he's being made a joke of week in, week out. Granted, himself and Fandango have gained themselves a championship match at Backlash. But is that just going to be another chance for the Uggos to show their dominance and retain the championships? It's difficult to tell, isn't it? But we'll have to wait and see. But I do like Breeze Dango. And I dare say there's quite a few people out there that agree with me that it's the same as the Jinder Mahal situation. Jinder Mahal, the reason people don't like the fact that Jinder Mahal's in the main event is not because of Jinder Mahal being bad at what he does. It's because Jinder Mahal has been a jobber. And if you ignore Jinder Mahal's history and realise that he's actually a pretty damn good heel at this point in time and doing a fantastic job against Randy Orton. And I think I'm going to actually quite enjoy this run. And to bring the Sings in as well, or the Bollywood Boys if you will, I think is a very clever idea. Be interesting to see if they're going to name this stable at some point. And it'd be interesting if they bring in one of the other two guys I spoke about. If you've not seen it, I did do an episode of Shabby Talk a couple of weeks back where I spoke about the Jinder Mahal situation. And there was a couple of guys from NXT as well, a couple of other Indian wrestlers who have been signed over the past few years who... It's possible that they're in the... they've got the idea of bringing them in as well. I think one was called Jeet Rama, who I believe is like 7 foot tall, and that could be an interesting one. Although you don't want to get stuck in the whole Great Khali situation of just having a massive guy who can't really wrestle. He's got to be half decent at what he does. And hopefully he will be. But I'm interested to see how this whole Indian revival on SmackDown Live is going to work, and it's definitely going to earn them an absolute butt ton of money, so I wouldn't expect it to end anytime soon. And who knows, Jinder Mahal could be a new world champion at some point. Oh, Motorbike Man's back again. What a boob. What an absolute boob. No, we haven't seen much of so far in all these 4 matches put together is weapons. It's been a pretty tame hardcore championship, isn't it, really? A very tame hardcore championship. RVD spinning heel kick. Slides back into the ring. And RVD So back in the ring again. He's a bit crazy, old RVD. Sliding back and forth as Bam Bam sending RVD into the corner. RVD fighting back with a back elbow. Now into a Hurricanrana, taking Bam Bam down. And again, all these guys do have their abilities. I think RVD is probably going to have the agility and speed bonus. The speed boost, speed advantage, whatever you want to call it. As RVD with the pin there after the Rolling Thunder. Regal, I think, might have the resilience. The British stiff upper lippedness. Bam Bam, of course, with a strength advantage. And I think Tajiri is going to have the strike advantage, I say, as he gets a massive uppercut there by Regal. And again, it's important that everyone uses their advantages to their advantage, because that's how you get yourself into the main event here this evening and get the championship. Bam Bam, great work there. Bam Bam's just emptied the ring and now he just has Tajiri left. Bam Bam going up top. If he can land on Tajiri here, big splash. That could be all. There's the pin. 1, 2. Oh my god, Tajiri kicked out. How has Tajiri kicked out of that? He's literally just been flattened. He has literally just been flattened. RVD kicked to the back of Bam Bam, but it wasn't enough. Spinning heel kick again. Bam Bam stays on his feet, but Bam Bam reversing that Hurricanrana into a powerbomb. Oh, this guy and his motorbike is doing my head in now. Oh, RVD reversing that big splash by Bam Bam into a super kick. Regal went for the brass knucks, I think completely missed it. Back suplex on Rob Van Dam. Van Dam fighting his way back up to his feet. There's a forearm. Regal sending RVD over the top rope. Tajiri catching Bam Bam in the side of the head. Now all 4 men back on the outside. Of course, remember, Extreme Rules means that no countouts, no disqualifications, but pinfalls and submissions must take place inside the ring. And it's Regal and Tajiri on their feet, but Regal and Tajiri don't seem to be working against each other. They seem to be working together at this point in time. They probably know that RVD... Oh my god, look at that. See that Regal with a knee to the head as Tajiri with a boot to the gut on Rob Van Dam. I think Regal and Tajiri know that RVD is probably the biggest threat they have at this point in time, as is Bam Bam as well. RVD there with a standing Spanish fly. Now RVD is the only man in the ring on his own. Clever move there by Tajiri. Knew that he was in danger then. Rolled out of the ring to stop himself getting pinned. Samoan drop on the outside by Bam Bam. And now Bam Bam is looking for some hardware under the ring. He's got himself a kendo stick. Right to the back of William Regal. Now we're getting some weapons. This is what we wanted to see. It's a hardcore match, for God's sake. Oh, Tajiri's just crept up behind RVD and catched him with the Bulldog. RVD was just watching the fight between Regal and Bam Bam develop, trying to catch a breath of fresh air, and Tajiri managed to creep up behind him. Tajiri now up on the top rope, diving elbow on RVD. Bam Bam just flattening Regal. Oh my god, Bam Bam just stared down at Tajiri, and RVD didn't fancy break up the pin, but I don't think he would have noticed it was going to go that close. Oh, green missed to Bam Bam Bigelow by Tajiri. Oh, Bam's pissed off now. Bam Bam is pissed off now. Just flattening Tajiri in the corner. Bit of a messy match, this one, at the moment. As Bam Bam's going up top, he's already hit one big splash on Tajiri. Went for another, but Tajiri with a super kick. Tajiri out of nowhere, that super kick. Now rolling Bam Bam over. But I think he's just taken a bit too long as Regal was back in the ring and able to break that one up. RVD sliding a ladder into the ring. Now we're getting some hardcore action here. Bam Bam's been busted open as well. Bam Bam with a ladder to the back of Rob Van Dam. And just launching the ladder down at RVD. Bam Bam and Regal avoiding each other's attacks. It's going to take one big move from either of these two to finish the other one off. At this point in time, with Tajiri and RVD on the outside, both out of this. Bam Bam taking Regal up. Into a butterfly backbreaker. If Bam Bam drops in the pin, which he has done, this could be enough. 2. It's only a 2 count. Regal kicked out. That's the stiff upper lippedness I was talking about of Regal. Tajiri, flat DDT. There's the pin. RVD's not even noticed. He's got his back to it, sending Regal over the top. And again, RVD on the outside, as well as Regal, and that leaves Tajiri and Bam Bam in the ring. And Tajiri's doing a fantastic job here against the big man. Tajiri drop kick, sending Bam Bam to the ground. Look at the blood on the head of Bam Bam Bigelow. Reverse spinning heel kick there by RVD on Regal. RVD tornado head scissors takedown on the outside as Tajiri bringing Bam Bam Bigelow back into the ring. Bam Bam now taking Tajiri up into a Samoan drop. Tajiri rolling to the outside once again. Bam Bam looking to go high. Well, RVD's just cucked him there by removing Regal from the situation. Maybe not the best idea for RVD. He should have probably held back and allowed him to hit that maneuver. Wow. Regal just ended up headfirst in the knackers of Tajiri there. RVD with a drop kick through the bottom turnbuckle, and Bam Bam's there to pick up Regal and the pieces. Both RVD and Bam Bam back in the ring now. RVD got planned. Springboard frog splash to the back of Regal. See, Bam Bam and RVD are going to have to take each other out. They seem to have come to a unwritten agreement there as well, as there goes Tajiri to the outside. And now, why is everyone throwing each other to the outside for? Come on. Regal, you had a great chance to maybe finish Bam Bam off, but you've thrown him to the outside, and now you're probably going to lose that opportunity. Running drop toe hold, Bam Bam going face first. I think there's a chair down there on the ground as well that Bam Bam may have hit. Bam Bam taking no crap there from Regal, just flattening him with the STO. We need to get the action back in the ring here, people. Running drop kick there by Tajiri. Tajiri now bringing Regal back up to his feet. Regal sending Tajiri straight into the ring steps. And it gets a bit messy when they get him on these corners, because they try and Irish whip each other in to the ring, but they're not lined up correctly, so they keep just hitting the ring steps. Like so. Well, RVD thankfully has bounced away a bit here, so Tajiri is going to throw him back into the steps again, isn't he? No. Yes, Tajiri's back in the ring. Here we go. RVD joining Tajiri back in there as well. And Regal's sending Bam Bam back in. So now all of a sudden we're back into getting everybody in the ring. It's all or nothing at the moment here. Tajiri with the arm breaker on RVD. RVD fighting back. Sending Tajiri into the corner. Regal comes ploughing in with a clothesline to the back of the head. It annoys me they don't let each other do moves. RVD just sending Tajiri straight into Regal there. Regal with a half and half suplex, and that's Tajiri out of this one. RVD now front chancery. Regal fighting back into a Russian leg sweep. What's Regal got planned now? Try to bring RVD back up, but RVD playing possum. Boot to the head of Regal. Now sending Regal into the corner. Look at the blood on Bam Bam Bigelow. He is really struggling here. The longer this match goes, the more liquid energy is just leaking from his body. RVD super German suplex. Holds on. I think he was going to go for a frog splash there, but Bam Bam just moved Regal out the way. This is Bam Bam's chance if he can get the pin. Oh, there's a big ending style move there. And now Bam Bam as well. Gorilla press on Tajiri. Now Bam Bam going up top. Bam Bam is taking control of this one. If he can hit this big splash on Tajiri, that could be enough. Tajiri, super kick. Now if Tajiri can pin Bam Bam, it could be enough. He does go for the pin. He's a bit slow. Regal's back up. Oh my god, what is the referee doing? My god, he's running around trying to pathfind. Neckbreaker by Rob Van Dam. RVD, I think Tajiri was lining up the green mister and RVD caught him. RVD, stay in the ring. Take down Bam Bam, please. Tajiri spinning heel kick, taking Rob Van Dam down his back, hit that ladder. This match should have been the final, really. The length it's gone. I don't think whoever wins this match is going to have much of a chance in the final, in fairness, but it's been a good one, hasn't it? But these four guys just don't seem to want to win this one. Running cross-body there by Bam Bam. Somebody needs to get in the ring and take advantage of Rob Van Dam here. Is that man going to be... What the hell just happened? 2K, are you watching this shit? Are you really watching this? Because we haven't seen a patch in God knows how long, and this... It's just comical, isn't it? It's just absolutely comical half the time. Right, we continue onwards. After Bam Bam Bigelow was able to warp through time and space. Elbow to the head there by RVD onto Tajiri. Now slides back into the ring, and all of a sudden... Again, it's all or nothing, isn't it, in this match? There's either nobody in the ring or everybody in the ring. And RVD's not going to get a chance to go for the frog splash. Or is he? Well, he breaks that pinfall up very well. Now Regal has a chance here. Regal and Tajiri, the only two men in the ring. Now Regal, reverse dragon sleeper hold even. That should be enough for Tajiri to tap, surely. Now Bam Bam's in and Bam Bam breaks the submission hold. Now Bam Bam in the front chancery on Regal. Takes him up. Brainbuster. Is that going to be enough? I think he should have gone for the pin there. Follows it with an elbow drop. Again, should have gone for the pin, but he continues the strikes to the grounded. Regal now wrenching back at the chin. And it's not a submission hold that would normally finish a match, but at this point in the match where people are bleeding, they've taken a lot of damage, that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. That pain. That's what I'm looking for. Bam Bam. Tried to backdrop RVD, who flips out of it. Running drop kick there by RVD. Regal knee strike to Tajiri. I mean, the problem is with this match is that I think RVD and Bam Bam's finisher maneuver are both from the top rope, so they're a bit longer to hit, which means that I think they're going to struggle, because I'm going to assume RVD here is going to go for that Super German again. Running clothesline there by Bam Bam onto Tajiri. Super German suplex there by RVD. Perfectly lined up now for the 5-star frog splash, which he hits as well. Oh, RVD now. Fisherman's Buster. If he pins Regal now, he could still have a chance here of winning this RVD. He's got to pin somebody. He doesn't pin anybody. 2 high impact moves. Don't do this again. Oh no, he's going to go for something different this time. He's going to go for a split-legged moonsault by the looks of it. He does split-legged moonsault by Rob Van Dam again into the pin, and RVD's trying his hardest now. Oh my god, Tajiri. That knee to the face of Regal was vicious. Oh my god, that headbutt by Bam Bam was vicious as well. I think Tajiri might be our best chance of winning this one, you know. Hurricanrana by Tajiri on Bam Bam. Tajiri now taking RVD up. Oh, that's a shallow brainbuster, that one. That really dropped him on the back of his head. There's the pin now by Tajiri. 1, 2. Oh my god, Tajiri nearly did it. Come on. Come on, people. We can do this. Angle slam there by Regal. This match is... It's what I said earlier on in the show. This match either goes for a little bit of time or far too long. Running knee strike there by Regal on Tajiri. This has got to be it. This has got to be it. 1, 2. Why? Why was that not the end? Go on, RVD. Go after Bam Bam. He does. He went after Bam Bam. Another big high impact move there by Regal, and this has got to be it. 1, 2, and 3, and there we go. Regal is into our main event in what was quite a long match. I may have to snip a little bit out the middle just to try and speed the process up a little bit, but it was a good old match. was a good match. I don't know how long this match was. I'll have to try and figure out. If it wasn't too long, I'll keep the whole thing in. If it was a bit too long, then I'll cut a little bit out the middle just so it doesn't go too long for you guys. But Regal heavily busted open. But he is going into that main event, which is next. We give Regal a chance to stitch up his wounds and have a little bit of a rest. And we're coming straight back with the final. And here we go. The final. We'll be crowning a brand new hardcore champion at the end of this match. Entering first is going to be the winner from our first qualifier, who of course is Jake the Snake Roberts. He defeated Mark Briscoe, Dusty Rhodes and Bubba Ray Dudley. And he has a chance of becoming the first ever Mayhem hardcore champion. It's a pretty good one, this one. I'm looking forward to this. I think I'm pretty happy with who we ended up with in the main event. I think it was a pretty good way forward. Of course, I'm a little bit I think the match quality has actually been pretty decent so far. I'm a little bit disappointed in the length of the last match. It went a little bit longer than I hoped for. But then again, it was also a pretty decent match. There was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of chances for several people to win. So it was probably quite a good match as well. As here comes number 2 into this match, it is going to be Mr. Cactus Jack. The man, the myth, the legend. Of course, this guy defeated Killian Dane, X-Pac and Devon Dudley to make his way into this championship match. And would it be amazing if it was Cactus Jack, the first ever hardcore champion in SWE? Of course, he's well known for his hardcore wrestling. He was originally, when I started watching wrestling, he instantly became my favourite wrestler. Combination of obviously him and Mankind. It was around about that sort of time when I started watching wrestling, sort of late 90s time. His feud with Triple H is probably one of the best ones in my memory. The match they had at the Royal Rumble, followed up by the Hell in a Cell match at No Way Out, I think was incredible. And it was annoying for me because I hadn't been watching wrestling for long at that point in time. And then I found myself a favourite wrestler in Cactus Jack, Mankind, whoever you want to call him at that point in time. And he ended up retiring so soon after I started watching. It was quite frustrating, really. And here is Sabu, the homicidal, the suicidal, the genocidal Sabu. He, of course, defeated Ken Shamrock, Dean Ambrose and Alexander Wolf to make it into the final. I think that was probably one of the toughest of our qualifiers, to be honest with you. And Sabu made short work of it as well. I think he pinned Alexander Wolf, I believe. I should know this. I've literally only recorded it like half an hour ago. So I should know. And our fourth and final man in this match, freshly stitched up and ready to go, it is going to be Mr. William Regal. The man who defeated Tajiri, Bam Bam Bigelow and Rob Van Dam to make it here. I think RVD may have been the favourite in that one, but the stiff upper lippedness of William Regal forced his way into this final. He wants some gold. He's not been overly involved so far. I think he's had the odd opportunity to try and work his way into a main event picture here and there. But now here he is in a championship match. It's a fatal 4-way though. It's not going to be easy. Fatal 4-ways are never easy. But one of these 4 guys who have already won a fatal 4-way here this evening knows that gold is on the line. Gold is all around us. I don't know why I'm singing. And this is what it's for, the brand new SWE Hardcore Championship. Was I drunk when I made it? I think I might have been drunk when I made that belt, you know. It's those little squiggles, I'm sure they're symmetrical, the little squiggles, but there you go. It's a decent, it'll do. I think by design, the Hardcore Championship is supposed to look awful, so I think it's a pretty good belt. And one of these 4 men is going to walk away with that belt. And, yeah, be our 5th champion on Mayhem. Big right hand there by Jake Roberts, now bringing Regal back up to seat position. Regal, I think, is going to be the one in trouble in this match because his match lasted a lot longer than the other 3. I think Sabu might be the freshest in this one. And Regal, I think, might struggle. So I think Roberts has got a great idea here. He was the winner of match number 1, so he's had the longest time to rest. Regal was the winner of the longest match and the most recent match. So by Roberts taking on Regal, it could be the easiest way for Roberts to pick up the victory. And I think Sabu and Cactus Jack are going to have to keep an eye on this because that's how... Well, Sabu needs to remember this is how he won the match earlier on. Was because the other 2 guys were fighting on the outside, not paying attention, and he was able to pick up the pinfall. And the same with Cactus Jack as well. So I think those 2 guys should really learn from what they gained from in the match. Jake now with a gutbuster on Regal. And like I said, Jake is dominating Regal here. Jake sending Regal into the corner as Cactus has that table precariously lent up against the ring. I don't think it's going to stay there for very long. Oh, Dragon suplex by Regal. Now the table is knocked over by Sabu. Regal dropping the fist into the face of Roberts. And now all of a sudden Regal's turned this one around. Regal dropping to the outside, looking to grab some helpful apparatus from under the ring. He does get himself a steel chair just in time to see... I forgot his name. Jake Roberts disappear. There we go. Jake Roberts is back in now. There's the pin by Regal. It's only a 1 count. It's only a 1 count. Roberts now hooking the arm into a clothesline. There's a pin once again by Roberts, trying to steal this one early on once again. As we've said, oh my god, I thought that was it. I honestly thought that was it, but you wouldn't be surprised because, like I said, Regal is struggling. Regal is really struggling here. I'm sorry, my computer's got a bit funny now. I'm losing track. I don't know what I'm doing. My screen's gone off. What's going on? Right, I'm going to have to look at the other screen for a second, but it's going to be slightly delayed. Right, Cactus is Regal in the corner. What is going on? I do not know. Sabu now sending Cactus over the top rope and clashing straight into Cactus as well. Cactus sending Sabu back into the ring. Oh, yeah, that'll do. That'll do. We figured it out. We figured it out. Right, we're back in. We're back in now. Just to see Jake get the pin. I'm sorry about that. My screen, loads of stuff just popped up on my screen and it all went a bit crazy. But now I can see exactly what's going on once again. Everything's still working. Yeah, mic's still plugged in. That's good. I had that problem a couple of times on Octane yesterday where I was recording. My mic just keeps cutting out for some reason. So I hope my sound quality is okay. Sabu still in the chair away from Regal. And it's just strikes aplenty here between these 3 in the middle of the ring. So this is the best hardcore match I've had so far. Because look at that, steel chairs, tables. That's what I want to see. I want to see some action. I want to see some hardcore action. Sabu through the bottom rope with the Tornado DDT. Regal brass knucks the face of Jake Roberts by Regal. Cactus and Sabu haven't noticed Regal with a pin. 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, your brand new first ever hardcore champion in SWE history is going to be the man who we really didn't think was going to win this because of how difficult his qualifier was. It is Mr. William Regal. British stiff upper lippedness is enough to win Regal the hardcore championship. Now, of course, as I mentioned earlier on, that'll do. We are going to be utilising the 24/7 rule for the hardcore championship, so Regal will have to defend that belt at any point in time where somebody attacks him. If there is a backstage brawl, the match will be determined by knockout. If it is inside the ring, it will be down to the stipulation of that particular match. But that is going to be the hardcore division, which will be solely over on Mayhem. Which is annoying because I want Summit now, but I have Summit planned coming up anyway. I've got something else planned coming up. Of course, if you have enjoyed this special episode of SWE Hardcore Revival, please do let me know by hitting that like button. I want to know if this is the sort of thing you guys would like to see a bit more, maybe some random one-off specials and so forth, or whether you prefer me just to stick to normal weekly shows and the normal pay-per-views, but let me know what you want to see. And of course, if you are new around here and you want to see some more, then hit that subscribe button as well. There is a link in the description below to the playlist, and you can catch up with all of the 51 previous episodes of this that we've done so far, which is just crazy in my mind, how many we've done so far. And of course, if you want to know exactly who the current champions are and who is on the rosters, and then please do look at the blogger link in the description below. That will give you a full list of all the 4 shows and a bit more information about how the shows work and so forth as well. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all very, very soon for our next episode of SWE Mayhem. I